Donbass region, but we are yet to fully understand. Here, viewers, you have visuals of the Russian Kamov 52 helicopter, and you can see two sides of the visuals. One is a colored representation, and the other is a sort of is a spectral scope. Here, viewers, if we are to show you, these are the visuals we are talking about right now, where there are 4 Caliber cruise missiles being launched from a Russian vessel. You can see, I presume this is in the Black Sea. We don't know what the target of these missiles was, but 4 of them are launched in quick succession, and you can see how fast they move. Major General G.D. Bakshi was also emphasizing that these are longer range missiles, and you can see by the time the 4th missile is launched, the 4th and last, the first one has almost overshot the horizon, and that is how fast they go. They're capable of changing direction very fast. In fact, we have seen how Russia has continued to use these from a great distance to attack outposts of Ukraine and the Ukrainian forces. We've also seen how it has used a hypersonic missile, the Dagger missile, but this is a shorter range missile. However, it does have enough of a range to give it a significant edge over anything that Ukraine has, viewers. We've seen a number of crucial deployments by Russia. Here you have the Russian mechanized infantry, the tanks, the convoys, the infantry carriers. You can see these are heavily laden with troops. They are large vehicles. They have, however, come under attack from the Ukrainian side. Ukrainians have been using their Turkey-made Bayraktar drones to attack them, but we continually see that Russia has an advantage. And viewers, we have the Iskander missile system also here. So now we've shown you back-to-back visuals of 2 key missile systems. Here you see the launch of the Iskander missile, which is launched from a heavy vehicle. And you can see how this one shoots straight into the skies. It is a longer range missile system, and then it changes its course and it deviates. And here, viewers, we'll show you once again from the seas how the Caliber missile is also launched. 4 Caliber cruise missiles launched in quick succession from the sea. Here you can see the destroyer of the Russian Navy that is used to launch these missiles. Within seconds, 4 of them are launched. By the time the 4th one is launched, the first one is completely out of visual sight. You cannot see it. That's how fast they move, and that is why Russia continues to have an advantage in the seas as well as in the skies. Let's also listen to the audio that is side by side with this visual. Once again, the visual of the launch of the missiles from the Russian Navy boat, and we also have Major General G.D. Bakshi with us. Major General Bakshi, if you could outline where are the areas where Russia holds the advantage and where are the areas where Ukraine can counter it?
Ukraine has focused mostly on strongly defending Kharkiv, the former capital, and Kyiv, the present capital. They thought that these were the primary targets of attack. As per what the Russian sources are saying, these were not the primary targets of attack because they will not be able to retain the terrain they capture here. After the ceasefire, this will have to be handed over back. So it is just like the case of India and Pakistan. The territory in Jammu and Kashmir, whatever we capture, we will not hand back. but any other territory after the ceasefire comes in is generally handed back to one another. Now, in this case, the Russian key objective is the breakaway provinces of Donetsk and Luhansk. Like I said, they have taken almost 80% of Luhansk. They have captured that province against stiff Ukrainian resistance, because the bulk of the Ukrainian army was deployed against the Donbass, against Donetsk and Luhansk. Luhansk, they have taken about 56-57%, and they want to clean up the whole place before they leave. The 60,000 Ukrainian troops that were pressing against Donetsk and Luhansk, they are trying to take them from the rear. They are trying to encircle them and destroy. That is their aim, to encircle and annihilate, as they did in World War II. That was a favorite Russian tactic of encircling enemy formations in pincer movements and destroying them. So what their aim is to try and destroy that huge grouping of the Ukrainian forces which are deployed against Donetsk and Luhansk. The Russians have made the maximum gains in the south along the sea coast of Ukraine. The first city they captured was Kherson. They are now in the process of reducing. They have more or less taken Mariupol. They have destroyed, razed Mariupol to the ground. They have, with the capture of Mariupol, they get a direct land link corridor to link up with Donetsk and Luhansk in the east. So they link up Crimea, which they had to supply only via the sea. In fact, the Ukrainians had cut off the water supply also. They had built a dam to stop the river water flowing that way. So the Russians have now broken that dam. They have captured, Crimea is already with them, the port of Sevastopol. They have now captured Mariupol, Kherson, and it looks like in phase 2, they may go for Odessa. You see, the Russian strategy was of coming in echelons. Echelons. Once the first echelon is used up to the extent of 50-60% casualties they have taken, then the second echelon, which is waiting in reserve, that is thrown in, and then the third echelon. What we noticed was that the Russian invasion force was rather, when you do a calculation of troops to task, it was rather low in strength. With 150,000, even if you say 1,90,000 or almost 2 lakhs, it was too less to try and take 15 to 16 cities. You see, because each city can take up to 1 lakh of troops or more. In fact, in the Second World War, Stalingrad, there were about 6 lakh German troops who were assaulting that one city, Stalingrad, Leningrad. But now if you want to reduce the manpower that you are going to use, you have to rely on firepower.
Major General GD,
and because of cultural factors,
if I may just come in,
yeah.
We are receiving visuals right now. From the other side, these are visuals of the Ukrainian forces destroying a Russian plane in Ukraine. You can see the remains of the Russian aircraft. Every now and then, even though Russia has the dominance in the skies, we've seen visuals of Sukhois and other Russian jets having been taken down. And this is perhaps a visual that shows a most complete remains of a jet. Normally what remains you see are barely identifiable, but here you can clearly make out that there are appendages that you would normally see on a fighter jet, and these are from the Ukrainian side, and the Ukrainian forces have downed these. Like we've been talking about just now, Russia maintains a dominance in the skies. That is why Ukraine has been calling for a no-fly zone to be implemented, but NATO has refused it so far. And you can see, however, that with whatever surface-to-air weapon systems they have, that they have been given by the UK and other countries, mainly the shoulder launch systems, they are able to take down every now and then a Russian fighter jet, a Russian cruise missile, or a Russian drone. And that's what you're seeing right now, viewers. And viewers, stay with us. US President Joe Biden will be holding bilateral talks with his Polish counterpart Andrzej Duda. And Republic is the only channel on the ground at the presidential palace in Warsaw.